Hello, ladies and gentlemen. It's RJ here, talking to you from the studio. Special guest this week, because Rooster decided to go fuck off into the outback somewhere to find his penis. I don't know. But we have a special guest this week. She's close to my heart. She is a beautiful, sexy woman. I don't know what we're going to call her just yet. She's gone by Mo in the past. We might call her Moby Doo. Might be Mrs. RJ, or we can go with Ms. Rooster for the time being. But she is filling in for the Rooster this week. She has a lot of notes. So I'd like to introduce my beautiful wife. For the time being, it's Mo. How you doing?
Hello, everybody. Thank you for having me on the show.
You are awesome for stepping up to the plate.
Thank you.
Can you think you can fill Rooster's shorts?
I don't know. The shorts, maybe the shoes. I don't know about the shorts.
He's got fancy shoes.
He does.
He's always got fancy shoes. You are pantsless, but it's normal for the house.
Hey, I just like to give you what you like.
This is all true. You know that we record pantless.
We do, yes.
You know that we do up here in the studio.
Yes, you guys talk about it all the time.
All the time, but we get them on before we leave the studio so that we can't get you all hot and bothered.
Yeah, you know how I get.
I know. It's something else. It's very tiring. But this week we're talking about season 3, episode 3 of Fear the Walking Dead, titled TEOTWAWKI. I'm going to treat you like Rooster a little bit. What did you think? What's your general statements? And eventually, what is your letter grade?
Well, you know I like to grade people. It's what I do for a living.
And what do you do for a living?
I am a English teacher at the local high school.
The old local high school.
And I feel like this episode, really suits my skills set. I do have a bachelor's in English, and I also have a master's in school counseling, just like our main character, Maddie.
Oh, let's not go around bragging this shit out loud. People are going to get jealous. But yeah, you're right. I mean, there is similarities between you and her.
There are.
She's not an English teacher, but
unfortunately,
you deal with
I can't stand her. But
the school you do work in is similar to the L.A. scene, what we saw.
Sure,
of course. Yes. I mean, it's a South Side Chicago. It's stuff you deal with every day. Similar.
True, but we never saw that much of the high school.
That's right. And 9 days later, who knows what happened there? But what'd you think of this episode, generally speaking?
Well, I'm not a huge fan of the show. I watch it, because you do, because I'm a dedicated wife. I don't know. If you're asking me to give it a letter grade,
give it a letter grade if that helps you get set in the stone.
Oh, I'd probably give it a D.
Wow, this one's a D for you.
Yeah.
It really bothered you. I thought for some reason, like we just discussed, some relation or to Maddie, but you also, it should be said out loud, you took 11 pages of notes.
I did, because I wanted to take this job very seriously.
Okay.
I know how important it is to you.
Because it bothers you hearing Rooster take a note, a couple notes here and there.
Yes.
So you do have large shoes to fill.
I do.
You went hardcore overboard with 11
I do, because I
pages.
really want to show them up. I want to be asked to come back a second time.
Oh, you hear that, Rooster? You're out there somewhere, bastard. Taking another vacation out of nowhere.
Hey, I just don't know how the audience will accept me. I know there's a lot of lovely ladies out there that are going to be missing the sound of Rooster's soothing voice.
Is it soothing? I don't know.
I don't know.
It always gets weird hearing hot and heavy, and it's always his fault.
I'm going to try to impersonate his laughter.
No.
Yes, because he does a lot of that.
You're the one that literally brought up the fact that he does look like Emilio Estevez initially when we all started to hang out.
That is his picture in my phone.
Wow. Yes. See, firsthand knowledge, folks. I had something else really important to say. All of a sudden, it just left my head. For me, this episode, it was just a general episode. I didn't find any ratchets. I didn't find anything severely out of place. Of course, it's got the same shitty characters. I kind of miss Travis a little bit ever since we saw the badass Travis.
But I don't know. Well, as we get into it, I am kind of intrigued by Troy.
What?
I know you are not a fan of him, but...
Oh, my God. Where's the divorce lawyer?
Oh.
Fuck a Troy. Right in his face.
I think he's gonna be a challenge for Maddie. Maddie is so used to walking over everybody, and I don't know if he's gonna fall into her little traps, but I think he can call it to the table with her.
There's obviously some sort of Cain and Abel situation between him and Jake, right?
Yeah.
So something else is breaking bad here. I think by default I'm on Jake's side because he seems like he wants to do well. He's actually putting effort into this compound. He's on his dad's side a little too much with the whole let's watch the VCR tapes.
I like his dad too.
Yeah, well, we've seen his dad before. You and I watch a shit ton of television.
Yes, he's one of my favorite.
We saw him in Deadwood. We saw him in Sons of Anarchy, unfortunately, that show. He's a good actor. I don't know his true name, but...
And he called Madison to the table, too.
Yeah, oh yeah, he's working her. But, again, Madison is... You see Madison's wheels turning in her head, right? She is working people at this point. Obviously, the napkin on the lap.
Yeah.
She's the father. You said it first the other night. Like, is she going to put moves on the
I have
Otto?
no doubt. I have no doubt. That's the way she's going to try to take over. Whether or not he's going to fall for it is a different story. I think he, again, will be able to call her on her game. But I think that's the way that she plans on taking over this camp.
And you listened to the last episode when Rooster and I were going. The Clarks are the bad people to you? Do you think? This camp was set in stone, but they're coming along trying to throw wrenches everywhere, right?
Yeah, I could agree with that. Definitely Maddie. I don't know if Nick falls into the bad category, even though he keeps saying that they need to do something.
I mean, we're not there yet. We'll get there. But when Nick and fucking Troy are like ground pounding out in the middle of the desert out of nowhere, that's Nick playing him, right? It's got to be. To me, it looks like he's setting in. He's falling in line between after Maddie POV of let's con our way into this, manipulate. That's the way I took it because Nick
possibly because he's been a manipulator before in the past with the whole drug addiction.
I'm hoping that's the route because Nick has been a pain in the ass. He's a survivalist, but him just to fall in line behind Troy just seems out of place.
Yeah, I don't see him falling in line.
I just think it was like.
But I don't think he wants to like destroy or like run the camp like Maddie wants to. Yeah,
I agree with that. I think he'd rather leave.
Yeah,
but if he's got to stay, I felt like he was starting to take a page out of Maddie's playbook. Just like, okay, we'll manipulate this prick because this dude was sleeping in bed, doing some weird shit. She's already treating him like a son on purpose,
right?
Troy. See, folks, this is why. It is a benefit that Moby's here because it's a female perspective, and we rarely get that here. I mean, we do have Rooster, and it's somewhat of a female perspective.
Burn.
But it's good. I mean, I hope everybody can welcome in my beautiful wife this week. She stepped up to the plate, and
I always do.
She always does.
And I'll hit a home run, too.
Whoa. Big talk. As for a letter grade... I'm a little bit higher, oddly enough. I'm probably like a C+ again. Nothing great, nothing bad.
Okay, maybe after I hear your analytical take of it, I'll up my grade there.
I didn't take 11 pages of notes, though. I mean, that's impressive.
I do enjoy the characters. I will say that.
Oh, really? Let's get everybody caught up to your speed. Who's your favorite character right now? And who's your favorite, no matter what storyline?
Alicia.
Okay. And who's the one that you just fucking can't stand?
Madison. I can't stand her.
There's a lot of people on that page. It's just, the woman acts properly. Like, she's obviously acting, but I don't know if it's the right fit in this show for her.
It's not.
I've seen her do some amazing shit in Deadwood. She's had bit parts all over the place throughout Hollywood and time.
I just don't think that she's the bit part. Like, she is the co-star. She is, the supporting character.
That's amazing. That's a good point. So what do you think we should just jump right in and try to do this breakdown?
I'm ready.
Man, here we go.
I'm going to put these big notes to use here.
I can't wait.
Okay.
Hopefully you mess up some names because that's what Rooster's done.
No, I'm really excited because, Strand will allow me to use my very limited Spanish.
Oh, shit.
I'm sure the listeners would love to hear you speak Spanish.
Oh, fuck, they would.
All right, so let's start off. It started off with the survivalist commercial with Jeremiah Otto, and we see the background of when Troy and Jake were younger. We actually see his wife as well, and he is trying to sell his survivalist buckets.
Did you want to buy any buckets at this point?
I was just going to ask you. I even put the question on my paper. Would you be sold with this infomercial?
No, infomercials are a spawn of Satan at this point. And, like, we've seen these before, right? It looked like from the 80s. It's got the VCR tracking in there.
So I appreciated that.
Oh, yeah.
I appreciated that technical aspect of...
It was fun.
It was.
And it was goofy, and we get a little background into the autos.
We do, yes. So, yeah, I thought it was an interesting take, and we also got the title of the show. You didn't quiz me like you usually quiz Rooster on the listeners or the viewers and all that other stuff. But the title of the show is TEOTWAWKI, right?
I said TEOTWAWKI already. That's just that's a Japanese steakhouse order.
Oh, is that what it is?
I think so.
All right, so we get the title of the show. I'm sorry.
Oh, there it is. Ooh, Rooster's here.
I know. Of the show through this commercial.
Yep.
Okay.
We're not there yet. Yeah, the commercial. Yeah, I enjoyed it. Simple as that.
Me too.
It was weird, of course. I don't think we'd get this. I don't think this shit would pass on The Walking Dead. This type of weirdness, right?
No.
Okay.
But they seem to have a lot more, I don't know, electricity and things that aren't as terrible.
That's a good point. There's some electricity happening in this ranch.
Yeah.
Brokejaw's on fire.
All right, so then it goes on to the group meeting, I call it, and it was just a lady talking about her dead daughter, but she did make a insinuation that her daughter died by risking her life for the unprepared and shot Madison a glance there.
Yeah. I mean, this is petty bullshit. We're not there yet. What the guy did the tisk get the lunch line and all that shit. But I have a note here. I don't know if you caught it or if anybody caught it. It's not really a rash or anything, but Madison's accent was slipping hard.
Yeah.
It was like the real woman, Kim Dickens, I can't remember her real name. She's from the South.
Right.
It was slipping in here. And I don't know if that was on purpose or she just fucking let it slip more so than usual. But this particular scene, I did catch it. I'm like, is she doing an accent on purpose or... It was just
yeah, it's hard to say.
Okay. I just want to make sure. I want to put that on record.
But that definitely prompts Madison to get up and introduce herself and her family. She, of course, mentions Travis with a very dramatic pause when saying his name, with a pained look in her face, suggesting that he was their compass, as if this woman ever listened to anything Travis had to tell her. And she does offer her condolences for everybody that they lost and promises that they are going to repay their generosity and kindness.
This is manipulation part 1.
Oh, yes.
Yeah, I mean... We shouldn't expect anything different from Madison at this point in the series. Simple as that. She's the manipulator. How far it'll take her, who knows? 7, 8 seasons of this shit. I don't know if anybody can stomach that, but...
Right. And I think it was at this point, there was no commercial break or anything, but I know during watching the show, I had brought up the fact of something like, have we totally forgotten that she used to be a counselor in her in her other life? And then, you had talked about the manipulation. So I just want to put it out there as, a trained counselor myself, that the role of a counselor is not to manipulate the clients.
She's using her basic poker skills to count cards here, like in a roundabout way. She's using her skill set in the bad way.
Sure.
Sure. It's simple as that.
I just don't want any listeners, because I think sometimes you believe that counselors manipulate the people that they talk to. Not saying that some can't, but I think true counselors are there to help guide you towards making...
I don't remember what high school counselor that I had. We also went to high school together, folks. We got married later on, but... My counselor at the time tried to make me go into the military. all the while knowing I'm a diabetic. So counselors are fucking stupid.
Oh.
You know what I'm saying? I'm just saying, they don't really put
just
in
because
effort.
you had one that was stupid doesn't mean that all counselors
I'm just
are
saying, let's not paint the clean brush on all of them. There's some bad ones, and Madison's one of them.
I'm sure.
It might have been fun.
But I think that she gets her manipulative skills more so from being the toxic person that she is.
Ooh, okay.
Which we'll touch on later.
Okay, perfect. Keep going.
Rather than her counseling background.
I should say this out loud now before we go any further. I did not tell my wife to do the play-by-play. She did it upon herself. I was going to do this, but she stepped up because she, of course, counselors and teachers get summer off. So they got nothing but to do.
I took like 2 hours to do these very detailed notes, and you better be damn sure that we're going to go through every little point here.
Shit, see what I got to deal with, folks.
You should be glad. You should be glad that I'm here to argue with you.
I'm just saying, I didn't make you do that. I didn't ask you to do that.
No,
You stepped up.
We all know that I run this household. You don't make me do anything.
Fuck. I'm going home. That's right. I'm here.
All right, so moving on. At this point, an angry man, who we find out later, or they name him later as Vernon. He wants to be prepared, and he is concerned about the helicopter being shot down. He's questioning why Jeremiah hasn't, nothing's been done about finding out who shot the helicopter down. And Jeremiah just keeps repeating, "We will act. We will act when we know what we're dealing with." At that point, Troy kind of jumps in, claiming that there is going to be payback. And then brother Jake clearly is annoyed, and we could see that there is tension building amongst the family.
It's Jake from State Farm.
I just thought of this as you were speaking. Do we know that this is not an inside job at all? This plane shooting thing? Or the helicopter? I just thought of that. I'm just obviously throwing fucking, conspiracy theory out there, but we know that Troy's convoy made it back. Do we know that crazy fucker didn't come out and just try to shoot the helicopter?
That's an excellent point.
I just literally thought about that now.
Yeah.
So there's no basis behind it. I didn't read it anywhere. I just literally thought about that.
I am generally not as a deep thinker as you are, but that is an excellent point.
You know me. I try to make a better show.
You do. You do a
try
great
my
job.
Goddamn hardest. But I apologize. I interrupted. Yeah. So there's nothing else to build from that. I think Vernon has a good point. He wants to know what to do. They got nothing but, literally a couple wires as a fence out there. Right. They need to know if they're under fire. But we also know, on the other side of the coin, that Mr. Otto, or Jeremiah, is doing something. They sent out a party to go look. Yeah. So to me, it's a wish-wash. I mean, Vernon has the right to know. Blah, blah, blah.
I think it's all, just story building, trying to build the tension within the community and trying to understand perhaps why they would be upset that they took in the Clark family.
It literally is 3 people. They've been there a day. I don't stick up for the Clarks, but shut the fuck up, everybody. They haven't even gotten jobs yet. Who knows? Give them a minute.
Yeah, I didn't understand. I mean, I don't know how much Madison interacted with them at that point.
Yeah, she's fucking with everybody at this point.
And Mr. Otto points that out later, too. Okay, so then it transitions right into a little lunch line where everybody's getting their food. You mentioned him earlier. Some guy walks by and just kind of calls under his breath that they're freeloaders. Alicia steps up real hard, what's your problem? But Maddie tries to tell her to let it go. And Alicia mumbles, that they should be harassing Troy and not them. And then Madison says, well, maybe they would be harassing Troy if they knew what he had done, insinuating the scientific little experiments that he was doing at the depot.
So this is further illustrates the fact that this colony, I don't know what else to call it, Brokeback Mountain or whatever, is literally don't know the true Troy. There's been some people don't, at least the level that he went in first couple episodes.
Right. I mean, we find out later from...
Yeah. So it's just to further illustrate, there's some D-bags running around, and it's not all, hunky-dory.
Hunky-dory.
There's nothing really... There's some there's some douchebags. There's even,
Right. And I think later on when Otto explains the camp to her as well, that, it's not like he's the master ruler and commander of the community.
Yeah, he's literally trying to build a new city and new life, and it's got to go the way it's got to go, blah, blah, blah. Which I think is going to bite him eventually, but...
And I think she's just banking on the whole idea that if the community knew, that's her card in her back pocket, like she could just pull that out and tell everybody, and like she's going to be the hero of the community. No,
I agree. Oddly enough, I don't know if we're giving it any credit, but this show's building stuff. I mean, oddly enough, but
that they're probably not going to follow through on later. So that was one thing that I liked about this show. Again, like you were learning things about it, or you could make, predictions about what could happen. But I feel will be failed in the future about finding out the conclusion to this information. So at that point, then I'm going to call her Tight Jaw.
Tight Jaw?
Tight Jaw.
Madison?
No, Gretchen, because she could not move her lower jaw.
I thought you were talking about Madison.
No, I know how you like to make up names for people.
Tight Jaw. I didn't even think of that.
Gretchen is Tight Jaw. Her jaw does not move.
She looked like an anime character to me.
Yeah, she was strange.
She's a strange cat, and we figure out later why she's strange.
True. But she is Vernon's daughter, and she recognizes the tension that's happening in the moment. So she breaks in and tries to welcome Alicia and Madison to the camp.
By Bible study.
Well, yeah, but
I'm not going to Christian rock camp anywhere.
She offers her condolences and invites, Alicia to Bible study.
We're not having
Christ
Bible
has
study.
risen.
We're not having Bible study at the quarry, everybody. I'm just letting everybody know now. I mean, we can talk about it, but we're not going to have... You sit on the fence before you go to Bible study. I get it. It's a hand. Hey, it's a olive branch.
Yes.
Okay.
And, church does bring together a sense of community.
Also breaks it up.
Well, Alicia was quick to dismiss it. Like, Gretchen didn't even get the whole sentence out, and she was like, nope.
I like Alicia.
Good old Madison is like, oh, when is it? Like, pressuring her daughter to join this Bible camp.
This is my theory, though. This is Madison maneuvering Alicia.
Yeah.
And this is why I think that Nick is falling in line behind his mom with the whole Troy rumble in the dirt later on. I think the kids, per Madison, is manipulating everything. She's literally got her fingers in all the pies. That's why. That's why I think that.
Oh, yeah.
I'm hoping that's why Nick is rumble tumble with Troy later. So this is just Madison's opening. Oh, Alicia got something to do. Go infiltrate that group. No.
Right. We find out that this little Bible study of Christ is Risen is actually their band, and Gretchen points out some other people who happen to be sitting eating lunch, a few others, like that's so-and-so and so-and-so, and she promises that Alicia will get to meet Jeff. Originally, I thought they said Jerry. And after we found out later, I was thinking like Jerry Garcia, but no, his name was actually Jeff.
Literally Jeff.
So if she comes, she gets to meet Jeff. Alicia tries to avoid it once again, even though she knows what her mom wants her to do, by claiming to be Jewish.
Play the Jew card, yeah.
Yep, but this is in the true spirit of religion, a group that accepts all faiths, and, they are willing to go from the Old Testament.
This is wonderful what you're preaching. I'm not coming to your church, babe.
Well, neither one of us are very religious.
God and I are cool.
I'm just trying to tell the story.
I get it. You're actually living in the story. So next, you're gonna get all aggravated and disgruntled later when there's actually like tension. You're like living the emotions via.
That's right.
Okay.
That's right. I have to do it dramatically.
Okay.
Okay. So anything else you want to say about Bible study before we move on?
No. It's fun later is basically what I got a couple quips about it later.
Okay.
Something that reminded me of it.
Okay. All right, so then it transitions right into a little hospital scene between Nick and Lucy, which is as if we don't have enough of Madison's angry face. Now we have to look at Lucy's angry face this whole time. Nick is trying to feed her, and because she's still cuffed to the bed.
How does she go to bathroom?
She can't.
Okay, I'm just wondering.
No, I don't know. Maybe they have her hooked up to a catheter. They look like they had, real hospital beds and everything.
Interesting. I mean, I guess so. I you know me, I think about the weirdest shit. I need to know, is there bathroom breaks or does Nick wipe? I don't know.
I don't know, but this broad really pissed me off because the first thing out of her mouth, like she's not even healed, is the fact that they need to have supplies and get the hell out of there.
But to be fair, these are the same, well, in her mind, these are the people that mowed down her people at the border. In her mind.
Okay.
But, yeah, I agree with you.
She said something later. I don't know if she said I can't forget or if I can't forgive what I saw at the depot. Yeah. No, but you're not even healed. Like, take a minute. Like, the facility looks like you're pretty well set up there. Like, take a few days. They're not, abusing you. They're feeding you. They're giving you medical care. Why don't you get your grasp on the situation, try to learn something about these people and this community before you just try to skid out.
The plot won't go anywhere then.
No.
She's going to be literally a thorn in everybody's side moving forward because Nick might get comfortable and then she's going to be like, Maddie says later, you might have to make a choice. Right. So
that's all it is. It's for the dramatic conflict.
And us as the viewers know if they wanted her dead, she would have been dead already. So just sit back and get healed and shut the fuck up.
Right.
So we don't even have to see her in the scenes. We just know she's in the triage, in the tent, healing. That's all we need to know.
Right. I agree. But we see that Nick is feeling a little bit guilty here. Like, as soon as she says that she wants to leave, he's kind of like, but he does say that he feels kind of guilty that he didn't kill Troy when he had the chance. And we get this little, I just want everybody to be together and feel safe. I did like what she said to him, though, here, where she told him that it's not his fault, that he's not a killer, and killing Troy isn't going to make them feel any safer.
I agree. It's just...
I couldn't remember because I don't have the awesome memory. Has he ever killed a human before?
I don't think so. It's always him walking around with the dead.
Right.
I mean, there was a weird moral compass of his own that, you remember last season when he was at the other ranch with the weird old lady that...
About the living.
They were trying to, make everybody live at all costs. Even if they're dead, they're living. So he hasn't truly taken a life.
Okay.
We could be wrong, but I'm almost certain because it didn't make any sense. That's why Alicia's more impactful because she actually killed somebody. So, I mean, that's why. And that maybe it is because he's been a drug addict. Well, he's technically an addict still.
Right.
But...
Out on the streets.
He's a softie still, right? He's not a freeloader, but he's just a leaf on the breeze, basically.
Yeah.
I get it, unfortunately, but
yeah. And so that's what I said. I liked what she said there. That was her one redeeming quality. Okay, so moving on, then we get transported back to the bunkhouse.
Right.
Where they all sleep. And Maddie walks in. She thinks that it's Nick laying in the bed, but it was actually Troy being quite a creeper.
I'm looking all over for you. I got to get out of here pronto. I got a stage 5 clinger.
Yep, that's basically it. This guy's problems. I don't like this guy. I don't like the actor. I don't like him. I don't want nothing to do with him. Which is weird because it's a juxtaposition between you and I because you seem to like Troy.
Well, I don't know. I just like that he's willing to come to the table with Maddie. I don't personally he's not somebody that I would hang out with in the real world or anything.
Dude
I don't
thinks he's a scientist.
Yeah, I'm not saying that he's not
I want no
flawed.
part of it. He's not welcomed at the quarry.
Okay. I don't want him at the quarry either. I'm just saying I like that he's willing to call attention to what Madison is doing.
He heals awful fast. His eyeball seems just to be bruised at this point. I mean, okay, I know it's a technicality. I just damn, you literally had a spoon in your eyeball. But everything's okay.
I don't know. So... she mistakes him. She questions whether or not, Lucy's okay. When she realizes it's Troy, we get a pan of her ass and she's ready to reach for her gun.
She likes showing her gun ass.
Yes, but she doesn't actually pull it out. That's what she said.
Yeah.
So Troy gets right into it. He tells Maddie that he really liked her speech and how she said Travis's name. He quote with my my notes.
Air quotes.
To make Travis matter, to make him real. And he analyzes her by saying that it wasn't out of grief, but to remind everyone that she is a victim too.
Again, it's just manipulation, wheels turning. She's figuring this guy out.
And he's figuring her out.
Yeah, well, he is a weird dude.
He is weird, but I think he knew. I just want you to know, in this world or the post-apocalyptic world, I promise that I will grieve you longer than she has grieved for Travis.
Wow, that means a lot, because if I will grieve you initially, but we got work to do at the quarry. There'll be a small shrine after we win.
Okay.
No, a large shrine. I mean, you know what I mean.
Thank you. I appreciate it.
I expect you to pull your weight. I mean, all this stuff.
You know I do.
You do. I'm just saying.
I'm a hard worker.
Yeah, I don't want you to grieve forever.
No, I wouldn't. I wouldn't. But I promise.
You're a doer.
I
would
promise.
whoop ass.
I would whoop ass, but I promise it won't just be a pile of puke next to a tree for you.
Oh, thank you. That means a lot.
I will actually shed real tears because she has.
It's a game, right?
It is, and and I'm going to talk about her being a toxic person later,
cool.
but she's
I know it bothers you.
I can't stand her.
You can't literally in real life. You can't stand drama queens.
I cannot.
You literally just shut that shit down. You're Negan. You shut that shit down.
I do.
And walk away, turn it
Exactly.
off, shut it down.
Yes, I don't have time for that nonsense.
Awesome.
So I think he read her like a book with that. So she tries to spin it around on him and ask him if he feels like he's a victim. And he even says, "What are you trying to analyze me now?" This is where, and again, I felt like the readers were just reading our mind because we had just mentioned, did the world forget that she was a school counselor? And then it
came into fruition.
Yes, exactly. So he wants to know what she did in the old world, and she does admit that she was a guidance counselor. We found out that Troy never actually went to public school because certain social aspects of academia proved difficult for Troy. So he actually spoke of himself in the third person, which, I believe that he's just repeating either what was told to him or just making the audience know that he's already gone through all kinds of psychological treatments and counselors and psychiatrists.
What would you think in real life, what would be his disorder, you think, roughly? Is he just he's not, obviously he's different. If someone to diagnose him today, I wonder what that would be.
Well, you should have given me a minute to
I apologize. It literally came to my head.
Study my psychological disorders.
Maybe you can think about it later. We'll come back to it.
I mean, he definitely has.
It's not Asperger's. It's not.
No,
it's not OCD. It's something on the spectrum potentially. Somewhere. It might not even be that.
Well, I mean, it's a behavior disorder of an attachment disorder. It's like the kids who would abuse animals or something.
Yeah, that dude would get
dead. It
Boy.
escapes me what the name
No,
of that one.
that was me putting you on the spot, not purposely. I just figured, it just came to me. That's why I asked.
Yeah. Sorry I didn't think about studying that beforehand.
I mean, you got 11 pages of notes. Come on.
I know.
Come on.
I had to give up at
Rooster
some
would have
point.
known.
I don't know about that. Let's not give him too much credit here. Okay, but I did think it was interesting that he spoke of himself in third person there. All right, Maddie then says that, it must have been lonely not to go to public school. But he says no, that he had this place and makes a point to say everything that I do is in service to this place.
This place has been his family, basically. Like his school, his family, his
everything.
His being, his purpose in life.
Right. But I underlined it in my notes. He specifically says this place twice instead of saying my home or whatever. So he's not even, I don't know. If we're talking about attachments disorders, then he's not attached to this place either.
But in a way, maybe you're speaking of the same thing, but this place, which is Brokejaw, it keeps him grounded because it gives him focus. Later on, we see him farming. We see him hunting boars. It gives him purpose. It keeps him grounded.
Yeah.
If that was removed, then he's a fucking raving lunatic, right? Running around.
Yeah.
Because we saw him in the first episode literally murdering people because he didn't have... Well, then again, he was trying to do science for ultimately trying to figure out whatever he was trying to figure out for the good of the camp, maybe? We're just filling in the blanks.
I mean, he claims that it's for the good of the camp, but I think it's more just his personal, like, even when he had the little tussle with Nick later on, it's his quest to find out why people turn.
Whatever. This guy sucks. We can move on from Troy for the time being.
All right. But no. We cannot move on from this scene just yet. Because he said that his dad, Mr. Otto, understands that complicated problems call for complicated solutions. And Maddie then says, yeah, but killing is easy. And Troy then says that that's why he picked her, that she understands the world and she understands him. So that's why he picked her to come to this place, but that he did not pick Nick.
And he seemed frustrated with that.
Yes.
I didn't pick Nick.
And he's like pointing at the empty bed.
Yeah.
That Nick doesn't deserve to be here, but Maddie claims that he's going to earn it. And before we end this scene, he gets up, he's about ready to leave, and she says, oh, the bed was made when you walked in here, like basically demanding that he remake the bed.
Power move.
Sure. Yeah, power move, trying to maybe claim the discipline of a mother that she thinks that he might be lacking.
Which he kind of is. Well, later on we find more details about his true mother. But
right.
I was going to bring it up, but we'll get there. But like, I can't remember who Mr. Otto said took care of the mother during her last
Yeah,
day.
Troy did.
Yeah. So he's missing a puzzle piece somewhere.
But I don't like that she tries to assume this motherly role when we know that she is a terrible ass mother.
Again, it's Madison. She's a manipulator. I wonder what she would have done with no kids in the world. You know, she might have been a hardcore. She probably been suited. She's the Shane, right? If there was no kids latching her. Think about that.
Yeah, okay, I guess so. I admire Shane more than her. But...
Yeah, at least Shane had some purpose.
Right.
He wasn't making some... Shane was literally trying to save the camp and everybody, and like, damn it, Rick.
Right.
She's just like, oh, we're going to take this place over. Like, why? It's fine.
Because it's all they have.
Fuck off. Go kick rocks, bitch.
Okay. So anything else you want to comment upon?
I just hate Troy.
Okay.
I do like the last bit of it, like her making him make the bed. It's a power move. It's maybe her testing the waters. Maybe if he didn't do it, then she knows how to read him later and how to further manipulate. But him doing it, maybe there's some weird sexual problems here too as well. But I'm saying This is her testing the waters, and he did it. So now she can develop from here.
Right.
And we're putting too much thought into this fucking show. Quite literally.
We are. So now we'll move on to Strand. We get to see Strand, and he is driving. And this is where I get to use my limited Espanol.
Oh, yeah.
For all your Latino listeners. So he's just, munching on a granola bar. They zoom in on this Mexico-U.S. border map. He pulls up to a water reservoir. There is a long line of Mexicans who seem to be bartering items in exchange for water.
Agua. I know that.
Ooh, and he was very polite, even though he was driving in his fancy Porsche, I'm assuming it was. I don't know what.
I don't know.
Me neither.
It didn't have a label on it. I mean, I don't know cars that well. I know it was fancy and it was his color.
Yes. So as he was driving, he was saying, lo siento, lo siento.
Lo siento.
Apologizing for, cutting all these people off. So he gets to the line, or to the beginning, or wherever the dude is.
Is he here?
To the line.
Oh, okay.
To the front of the line.
I thought it was Peanuts was involved.
And as soon as he gets out, he's told that he needs to get to the end of the line, but he claims that he's not there for the water, that he's looking for his friend Dante. This guy doesn't care. He repeats that he just needs to go to the end of the line. So Strand.
Oh, it's a rooster.
I know.
That's a rooster. That's twice.
It's the El Gallo.
Oh, don't throw around this weird shit right now.
Okay.
I can't keep up with it. You know this.
Well, El Gallo would never be able to speak to you in Espanol.
Again, don't know what El Gallo is.
The Rooster.
Oh, see?
See?
This is overly complicated already.
All right. So, Strand tries to pay this dude off by giving him the car. He gives him the remote to the car, but the dude just throws the remote right off. They tussle a little bit. Victor gets thrown down to the ground, claiming that this dude is making a mistake. And then we see Dante appear, telling Victor, in my best Espanol, "Te vas de la chingada."
Okay. Oh, man. What's that say? What did it
I
say?
am
What did the
stepping
subtitles?
Oh.
What were the subtitles?
That he looks like shit.
Okay.
So now you just learn to try it, test it out. Chingada.
Chingada.
Oh, there you go.
I know a bunch of bad ones I learned in grade school, but that stuff's all gone. Don't need it. Well, you know what I mean. What makes me think about Strand is he's got the manipulation factor. He's got the con artist factor. This type of world now, all his, like, before the apocalypse stuff is not going to fly anymore, I feel. Like, him giving that car away, great. They have probably 1,000 cars.
Right.
They don't need that shit. They don't need your fancy looks, your primped up, beard. I think some of his skill sets are no longer in use. You know, and then he comes up to them like, I know Dante, basically. Right. And they're like, fuck off, dude. Everybody knows Dante. Right. Of course. I feel bad for Strand because his wheelhouse can't be fully used here. And we're seeing that literally on screen. And that sucks.
It does, because we really like that about him in
I agree.
the opening.
Yeah. So, yeah, I mean, this whole scene is just filling in the blanks. Maybe Strand never learned. Maybe this is Strand's baggage from here on out. Like, what do you mean you don't want to talk about colognes this week or champagne or wine choices? No, motherfucker, we need to eat, just... I don't know. It's odd.
I agree.
It seems like they're just trying to give him something to do. Are we always going to have the Clarks now and Strand separated from here on out? Or someone's, you know what I mean? Again, are they going to run into each other at some point?
Well, after seeing the ending of the show, I'm going to assume that they're all going to make their way back to each other.
And where is Ophelia? God damn it.
We're going to find out.
We got to, at least.
We've got to. Got to, mister.
Got to.
All right, and that was our first commercial break. So then it picked up with the bunkhouse again with the Clark family.
That's my favorite place.
And we see yet another awesome parenting skill from great old Madison. This is where we could talk about her being a very toxic person.
You're really on this. You really want to talk about it.
Well, you know how I feel about parents. All right, so Alicia is practicing her handy switchblading knife.
She's just into fidget spinners. That's all it is. She's missing hers, and this is where we're at.
Oh, man.
And she's doing the whole game between the blades, between the finger, like
I couldn't remember what that was called for my note.
Assholery is basically what it is.
So, yes, she was about to stab all the spaces between her fingers when Maddie walks in, and all she just has to say is, don't. And, of course, Alicia obeys.
I feel like there's some sort of Shakespearean structure with this Clark family, or we've seen before the Tudors. I don't know. Something like, she's obviously Queen Bee. Alicia's smart. We've been taught that.
Right.
She knows she's killed a man, blah, blah, blah. She's a survivor, but she still falls in line.
Yeah, and she never agrees with her mother either.
Yeah, and she eventually storms off a lot and walks off. Okay.
So, anyway, Nick claims that nobody wants them there, but Maddie claims that most of them don't mind that they're there. They just have to win over the few that don't want them there. Alicia makes a comment that Maddie must really want to win over Troy. Maddie claims that it's a work in progress, but warns both of them both to stay away from Troy. And Nick's not sure if he can. And she says, well, you don't know what sets him off. He doesn't know what'll set him off. Like Troy himself doesn't know what else will set him off.
Yeah.
Okay. And this is where my literary skills of teaching sophomores for so many years. Nick believes that if they stay, they need to do something. Maddie thinks that she is doing something, even though she won't tell her kids what she's doing, which is my reason for, again, believing that she wants to take over the Otto family. Alicia demands to know what Nick plans to do, so she just cuts her mom off and says, "What, Nick? What are you going to do? Do you need my knife?"
Yeah.
Which I found a little strange. So yes. And Nick's face is just like a little appalled that his sister, with her readiness to kill. And then he goes into, I don't know how many of your listeners remember the classic story of Mice and Men, but this was a true like George and Lenny moment where Nick's like, I just want to run away somewhere. We can get a little place and raise some crops, and I can tend to the rabbits with my little patch of alfalfa.
You think they're that clever, these writers?
I don't
this
know.
Type of...
Maybe they're just rehashing one of the best told stories of American literature.
Man. No, me, Rooster, and the rest of our audience, I don't know if we're at that level you are. Maybe this was a mistake. We're all too dumb.
No, you are not. If you didn't read the book, you've seen the movie.
Right. Tom Hanks was good.
It's one of John Malkovich's best performances.
I get I'm busting balls or busting tits right now.
I know.
I just didn't take it that far. You obviously did.
Well, that's my insight.
Okay.
And to anybody who knows it, again, that's like their American dream. It's the quintessential American dream. And clearly it doesn't work out for George and Lenny.
No, not one bit. But I don't know. I just didn't put much thought into this. I guess I was looking at all the surface stuff here. Like, obviously the Clarks aren't communicating with each other properly.
Okay, but true. But in this post-apocalyptic world here, do you see just a family going off and having a house of their own where they could just take care of themselves, and nobody's going to bug them? I mean, we see it all the time in The Walking Dead, where everybody starts raiding you and coming and taking what you have and killing people.
They don't know that yet, and to be all fair. This is still young in the apocalypse. Also, this is probably one of Nick's original grudges. Maddie, he ran away being a drug addict, right? She finally kicked him out and said, you can't come back, blah, blah, blah. Go kill yourself out in the field and before the apocalypse. Yeah. Maybe he thought that she never truly gave him thinking that maybe she never really created a good atmosphere as a home atmosphere. Who knows? Okay,
which would tie into the whole Otto plan of making.
And now Maddie's trying to have something great and grand for her family because obviously Travis is dead. Shit's falling apart everywhere. I can finally do this. Who knows?
Then why wouldn't he just let her do it here?
I don't know. You're asking the wrong person this type of stuff. You're doing the fatal mistake of what we do early on in this podcast history is like overanalyzing this nasty shit.
Well, I just don't see even this early on in the apocalypse how you think you can survive on your own.
Nick will just wear blood makeup 24/7. He sleeps in it. Luciana's going to have to play with his red-blooded ding-a-ling with the blood makeup all over it. It's going to be weird.
They're moving past that. You haven't seen that in the first 3 episodes.
Okay. I don't know anymore. You're bringing too much heat this week.
Well, okay. I got to let my knowledge
show.
I got to show some sophistication of intellectual thought since I'm never appreciated for it in my
your career.
In my career.
Okay. Okay. It's wonderful. Wonderful analytics, babe.
Thank you.
Wonderful. We should do a whole new segment where we introduce you as a third chair, like this week in analytics. This week in literature.
I'm not analyzing. I'm just making the connection between Of Mice and Men and this American dream concept that is going to fail. And who knows, maybe somebody's going to have to shoot somebody in the back of the head here.
It's never it never succeeds. Not even the mothership of the show. It never succeeds, right? It's one outpost to the outpost over and over again. Now we're at Brokeback Mountain. So Broke Jaw.
You wish it was Brokeback.
Uh-huh. Enos. I know I quit you.
Okay. So anyway, after Nick does his little, can't we just get a little place someplace? Maddie demands that they are not leaving because they are all there, or this is all that they have. And then, again, great parenting, lays the guilt trip on Nick that it's his fault that Travis died and brought them to this place to begin with.
He kind of agrees with it, though. But, of course, it's bad parenting skills.
Yes.
Yeah. I get it. It's manipulation. She needs Nick to fall in line in order to, in her mind, maybe save him from himself, right? It's the whole drug thing all over again.
Well, this is where I get to the whole toxic thing. It's like she, even with Travis, with everyone in her life, it's like she's fighting so damn hard. Like, I need my family. I have to protect my family. But when her family's right there, she just shits all over them.
We know another person like this. Her name is Cersei Lannister.
Yeah.
So, not a great parent, very toxic, dumb decision-making. That's what my theory is. The Clarks are bad dudes. Even within themselves. I just took away from the scene that the Clarks aren't communicating properly, but I guess works against my overall theory that they're all falling in line and manipulating the entire broke jaw area. So, you took it 20 feet further and just said, God damn it, read this book.
Well, if they have,
Maybe Madison,
if your listeners haven't, they should definitely read it.
Oh, no one wants to listen to a podcast and get educated. God damn it!
All right. Give your listeners a little bit more credit than that.
No, I do. I love my listeners and the future listeners, but everybody's got to work and everybody's got school. Maybe they do I'm just saying. You do. Moving
on. Nick, we're still in the same conversation.
Of course we are.
That Nick claims that Lucy is not going to be safe here. I'm assuming because of the racism that occurs in this camp.
Oh, because I didn't think of that, like the Hispanic type.
Yes.
Wasn't there...
I didn't check out any of the other faces in the crowd.
I could have swore those African Americans bouncing around, and maybe not.
I don't know. I didn't pay that much attention to it, but you guys were talking about the racism last week.
Maybe. I guess we didn't look at the background characters a whole lot. Man, I could have swore.
You better rewatch it a third time.
No, I won't do that.
And he's afraid that they're going to make her leave. Like, Madison's like, yeah, they're taking care of her, blah, blah, blah.
They could have killed her
fine.
already, like we just talked about. If they wanted her dead, they would have offed her.
Exactly.
So
he's afraid they're going to make her leave, and you brought this up earlier. Then Madison says, well, you're just going to have to make a choice then. Like, are you going to follow Lucy, or are you going to stick with me?
He's made that choice before, right?
Exactly.
Ultimately, last season. He said, fuck it, I'm going to go walk the wasteland in blood makeup, and he found
That's
Lucy.
Why I don't know why she would even, pull that ultimatum.
Kept him again. I'll walk away from you for 18th time.
Right.
So, I was like, that's the first thing, even on the first watch through when we were watching it that Sunday night, I was thinking, he made that choice before. It didn't end well for you, Madison. So maybe this whole series is about following Nick around. He leaves, half a season later, we follow him. Or, no, Madison's got to catch up to him, get some more people killed, vice versa. Oh, rinse and repeat.
Right.
I just figured out the formula. I'm just saying, he made that choice before, and it's like, are you guys rehashing your own shit? Weird.
I don't know. It just makes me sick. I can't stand who she is as a person.
Yeah. I think maybe I'm just settling into the fact that she's just extremely manipulative at all times. No matter what she's doing, she's manipulating somebody at all times. And it's going to be her downfall at some point. Maybe, who knows what's going to happen, but that's her character. So that's all I got to say about that.
Me too.
Okay.
Because I don't like manipulative people.
# fuck off Madison.
Okay, so moving on then, they jump straight into a scene in Jeremiah's house or whatever. Jeremiah and Jake are discussing the helicopter incident, they don't like what's going on. And Madison just strolls in all unapologetically, without even knocking.
Again, who's Madison? I think that's where most people, particularly people that see it, your eyes, she's a manipulative bitch. She does what she wants. Or this is like a power move. I'm walking in here because I'm the future queen here.
Yeah.
That's all. It's very surface level for me. I mean,
Yeah, I agree.
We know these people in real life, these type of people.
So I have to applaud Jeremiah because he schools her, puts her in his place about just common decency. And I loved how he called Los Angeles the Angel City.
Angel City. Everybody knows it as Angel City. At least us Midwest folks.
Yes. So she claims that the people there resent her and she wants him to do something about it. He explains that he is not the autocratic ruler, that people just do not bend to his will in this community, that these are free people who only ask for help when they need it.
I see both arguments here. For one, yeah, she needs help with his fucking son, right? Troy's a douchebag.
Yeah.
He's dangerous. But yeah, I do agree.
But her approach is...
her approach sucks, but people are going to have their opinions. He can't make them think any other way.
Right.
I agree with that. But I do understand. I would help. I need help with Troy, goddamn.
Yeah.
So she says as much. Get your kid on the leash.
Yes.
So yeah, he should have said, like, put your kid on the leash first.
Exactly.
Like, fuck off.
Yeah. Like, a terrible way of, like, I don't care if you're on a power trip or whatnot. Like, just a terrible way of coming into the situation, especially if you need something.
She's basically going around and pissing on everybody's territory, marking her stuff. That's
Exactly.
basically how I saw it.
Yeah.
And I like how later on she gets shuffled off to the VCR room.
Yeah.
Like she just started some, fucking TGIF Friday waitress gig, and she go watch the informational tapes before you come out here.
Yeah. And we see how far she gets with those videos too.
I didn't finish the first tape. You bitch.
Right. She started, didn't she rummage through like the other videos to find the deleted footage?
She's looking for the porn.
Right.
This is what's happening. She needs to rub one out.
But again, I like that Jeremiah was just like, people don't like you very much, do they? Like you're a really hard person to get along with.
He's talking to the audience right now.
Yes.
Yeah, I'm with you, audience. Thanks. Thanks, Jeremiah. With you, buddy.
So that was cool. I liked him saying that. And then she goes into her, protective mom phase again, threatening that when somebody threatens her family, she's going to do whatever it takes she doesn't care whether or not people like her.
It's amazing, right? This type of person in the real world apocalypse would not last day one. They would just shoot her in the fucking head and move on.
Exactly.
It's funny in that sense.
And it's like, if he let her into the camp, if it was his, like, he could just be like, we don't need you here. Like, go ahead. You guys can leave the camp.
Peace out. We'll show you the front door.
Right. Like, I don't know. Like, I don't know. I know he's trying to make it a free people and you can do what you will, but clearly they're making decisions about who's allowed to be in their community.
So you're saying he's talking out both sides of his face, in a way.
Yeah.
It is his property.
Right.
But he's also trying to create a new community. He wants to develop a new city, structure, government, blah, blah, make it better, quote unquote. You just reminded me of an old movie called I'm Gonna Get You, Sucker, when the mother tells this guy's like, you can either go out the window or you can take the stairs. We got to get that clip. Yeah. Rooster, get on that shit.
Do it. Because I don't do technological things.
Technological.
Mm-hmm. All right. Now you made me, in true Rooster fashion, now you made me lose my space in my notes.
don't do that to you guys.
I didn't finish.
I'm still writing down of mice and men's.
Oh my goodness.
Motherfucker.
All right. Okay. So Maddie goes into her protective mom phase. Threatening that the people here need to know that Troy, this is where she throws her card out, that Troy is killing people in the name of science, and Jake.
I don't have the clip ready.
You don't have, oh my God.
I mean, when you're saying Jake.
It's Jake from State Farm.
Yes, Jake tries to defend Madison, but Otto just dismisses him. It was just like...
Jake is the good follow soldier, right? He's following his general in so many words. So, but it's true. Again, I hate to side with Madison. What if that fucking town knows about Troy's little misgivings? They probably be like, no, well, that pot scene, they know Troy's done some weird shit. So who knows what?
Maybe they don't think that he took it to the extreme that he was
live
doing
people.
it. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah.
I get that, but whatever. Like, I think it's a shitty card to play anyway. So anyway, Dad dismisses Jake and again says
it's Jake from State Farm.
He says another great thing to put Madison in her place. If my people, and I couldn't really understand his word. I think he meant like
there's
offense.
a lot of mumbling going on in this fucking episode.
But he says if my people take offense at your presence, that's on you. And I was like, that's right.
It's the way it was before.
But offers to help. Like, I'm not going to throw you out there not knowing how to swim. I'm going to give you information that you need to survive, being the true survivalist. Maybe he was going to try to show her educational videos on how you should socialize properly with people.
And like, Jake, show her tape 1, please. Get the tape 2.
And she is, as you said, hauled off to the library to watch
the informational booth.
Her tutorial video.
And Jake even tells her, gotta get a pot of coffee on. You're gonna need it. Like it's that bad.
So again, I like our character here of
Jeremiah. He was a bullfrog.
And he was the good friend of mine, too.
Gotta get that too, Rooster. I can't do all these jobs.
Take note. All right, I will continue.
Yes, because I'm writing of Men's of Mice or something.
So we get into the little library, and Jake sets up Maddie with the tutorial videos, and of course she jumps right to Troy of like, oh, has Troy always been like this? And Jake says he'll take care of it. Oh, and she's like, oh yeah, that's what you and your daddy always say, that you're going to take care of it. And then all of a sudden it was like, oh, hey, I just really want to thank you for saving Alicia's life.
Again, it's her working gears. That's all it is. Make people like me.
Well, she's not smooth about it at all.
She's very surface. As long as we figured out the formula, but if these assholes every day, like, get the fuck out of here.
And I'm assuming she just thinks Jake is on her side because Jake's the one that offered.
He kind of has been on their side.
True.
Blindly, but is Jake's the good guy. Too good, right, at this point?
Yes, and I definitely see, because even when she thanked him for, saving Alicia's life, he had a little glimmer in his eye, like, oh, she saved my life too. So maybe one of the reasons that he invited them over to this camp is because he's got a thing for Alicia. I see a little love brewing in the
Who doesn't at
complicated.
This fucking point? Alicia's gonna tear his dick off. With her fidget spinner.
Damn, I thought I was, I was the only one that noticed.
No, this is surface level garbage.
I thought I was going to drop bombs of knowledge on you with that eye opener.
There's enough passing glances that to fucking tell. This is
Yes.
Who knows if it's going to get that far? Either Troy's going to murder his own brother, Jake is going to die in a hail of gunshots, saving Alicia and the Clarks for God knows what reason.
That will happen.
So something like that, yeah.
Yep.
He's setting up for a fail. And then we'll stuck with Troy, which I like to call Spoon Man. Spoon Man. Oh, that's another clip. Let me hang on.
He's dead now.
That's too soon.
It's too soon.
Soon.
I have to call that attention.
I know, every fucking time. Are we going to get to page 7 at some point?
I don't have them numbered. I think we're past page 7.
Okay.
But moving on, this is labeled scene 10 in my notes if you really care. Between Nick and Alicia, Alicia's just said, "Oh, here's our baby dog." Alicia is watching the horses.
As you do.
Yep. And she is having memories of her dad taking her to the equestrian center.
It's funny because I don't remember any of that part, the equestrian to speak. I literally watched that episode twice, and there's stuff I just black out.
Oh.
All I took from this scene that you're describing was Nick realizing Alicia's different.
Yes.
That's all I took from it.
Okay.
Like, I don't even need the not saying nothing against you.
No,
but
no.
I mean, literally
it's
just
probably pretty insignificant. We don't need to know that.
We're going to see her on horseback at some point, right?
Yeah, she's apparently a very skilled rider.
Skilled rider, skilled knife person, murderer.
She is a lady of many talents, much like myself.
She's a pre-Madison. She's early stage Madison.
I don't know.
She's smarter than Madison.
She's smarter. Yeah.
She sees I do like Alicia as a character. I
Yeah.
do. I do agree with you. I apologize. I broke in.
It's all right. Nick asks her if she plans on writing, but she, has no intention of writing. She says she's just waiting around for Bible study to get started. And,
Oh, man.
And this is going to be her way of, trying to fit in if they're going to stay. Nick asks her if that's what she really wants, if she wants to stay, and she does say no. But she's seen what it's like out there, just all the different circles of hell, so why not this one?
It's basically the devil you know versus the devil you don't.
Right.
Which makes sense.
It does.
I swear to God, they got some intelligent writers, but they write for certain folks. It's like the whole Morgan over on The Walking Dead. They devote a lot of effort into his type of stuff, but they shit on everybody else at times.
Yeah.
I think they focus on Alicia a lot in this series.
Yeah.
Could be wrong.
So she apologizes for what Madison had told him about putting the guilt trip on him about Travis's death, and says that it wasn't fair. But as you pointed out earlier, Nick says, well, she's not wrong. And she tells him that it's a bad time for him to form a conscience.
Good advice.
It is.
It's a horrible fucking time, Nick, to start thinking about. I mean, easier said than done. I kept on looking at his hairline. Nick's going bald early.
He's got horrible hair.
He's got some massive. This is how surface level I am. I'm looking at his fucking billboard of a forehead, and I'm like, damn, dude, that stringy hair is going bad quick.
Yeah, I don't know why they wouldn't have him just shave his head.
I'm hoping we get there. Well, again, I don't know. That's all I saw in that scene. I took away the important parts, and I was like, damn, dude. Damn.
If only you were there with your clippers.
Yeah, I buzzed that bitch up.
All right. So Nick wants to know what happened to Alicia out there, but she just walks away to join the band.
No one answers anything anywhere.
No.
That's how you do it.
She did invite him to go to Bible study, but thank God he chose not to.
I'm with Nick here. I'm not going down there. Especially after we're about ready to get into it. They make her go down the hole first. Fuck yourself. I ain't going anywhere first, asshole.
All right, but, if Nick finds out what's in store...
yeah.
Maybe
that's a good
point.
point.
Maybe we will see a new side of him after all.
Nick's got a drug nose. He's going to smell something
He is.
at some
I hope
point.
he does. That'll be great.
We need doped up Nick.
We do. All right. And again, I felt like there was just no commercials. It just kept going on and on. Then we get another fence scene outside between Troy and Jake. Apparently there is a vicious wild boar on the loose.
Single boar tearing shit up.
Yes, that it's a major problem in this camp of wild boars, that he is just getting into the crops. So Troy is out there trying to repair the fence when Jake pulls up and orders him to stay away from the Clarks.
It's Jake from State Farm.
Yeah, this is like weirdest thing. Stay away from the Clarks until later on when you invite them to go hunting with us. Okay? Like it's an empty threat.
I don't know. Was Jake in the hunt?
It's weird, right? It was structured weird. Troy invited. It looked like
really
Troy
weird.
was in charge, but even later on when we haven't gotten there yet, obviously, we're going long, but even Jeremiah tells Maddie, Jake says Nick went out on the boar hunt. Basically, Jake knows that Troy's out there with the,
Right.
So this is an empty threat.
Yeah.
Just a stupid
Which I'm
conversation.
sure has always consisted in their family.
Yeah.
In terms of discipline. But the main point of this conversation is that when Otto dies, that these two boys are going to have to step up to rule this little camp here, to manage the camp.
Is that foretelling the future of Mr. Otto?
I'm sure.
Yeah.
I mean, not to mention that he's just old as it is.
Yeah, he's looking pretty ragged. His frog face is starting to fall apart. But, yeah.
I don't know how old that guy is in real life, but
he's up there.
He's always looked really horrible.
When they try to young him down into VCR tapes, it wasn't working. I like the dude a lot, but there's only so much you can do. But I just thought of that. Maybe that's foretelling the future of Mr. Otto, unfortunately. If we're going to have two brothers literally warring it out at Broke Jaw.
And who knows, he could already be sick. He already made mention of his previous ailments as well. So anyway, they need to be able to step up and rule together.
That never works out for anybody.
No.
I feel like there's some sort of Greek mythology happening here.
And in order for that to happen, Troy just needs to listen to him now. By following this one command and fall in line under Jake.
Everything follows. Listen to the Clark commandment, and everything will fall into place.
Of course, Troy agrees. This is another reference to it of Mice and Men.
Oh, fuck.
It's just it happens over and over again. Oh, just stop.
I'm just teasing. I'm busting tits. I can't say busting balls.
Same story, different situation. Or same whatever.
And let me say this: Jake is, I can't remember the smart duo of Mice and Men.
Yeah, so Jake
Gary
would be
Sinise,
George. Yes,
Gary Sinise. But they're going to do a rope-a-dope, right? Troy's going to be putting someone else down. It's gonna.
Right. So it'll probably be Troy shooting Jake in the back of the head. Yes.
And not like a conscionable like term of endearment. It's more like fuck you, boom.
Right. Yes.
I gotta learn how many minutes do you turn.
It'll be interesting if they pull that. If they do shoot Jake in the back of the head, I want you all to know that you heard it here first, that they are copying off of Mice and Men by John Steinbeck.
Well, either or. Like, at that point, that theory holds. Even if Troy dies via...
Yes.
Troy, you're a dumb idiot. Poof.
Yes.
Which they should have done ages ago, even before the Clarks.
Right.
But I digress.
So Troy agreed, and Jake, asked, do you mean it? And he's like, I always mean it. So again, just like a true addict or whatever, of course they always mean it when they get the drug or when they, like, this is my last time. And maybe they really do mean it, but, later on when the impulse to need the drug again happens, they totally forget what they promised.
Yeah, I mean... I thought that the first watch through and just confirmed for me the second watch through about, I always mean it. Yeah. Mm-hmm. I mean, he's going to fail you.
Right.
So why's Jake? Okay, thanks, Troy.
Right.
He drives off. He's staying away from the Clarks, guys. He means it this time.
All right. Then we go to Bible study again. Oh. We find out what Bible study is really all about.
You don't go down this tunnel firsthand.
Yeah.
You go fuck yourself. Simple as that.
Apparently they had to walk quite a while. Alicia's wondering, how long is it going to take to get there? Like, are we almost there, Dad? And yes, we were right off the bat, like, you go down first. Like, hell no, you go down there first.
I would have pushed old anime face down there.
Right. Tight jaw.
Old tight jaw at broke jaw. Tight jaw at the broke jaw. Got no jaw soon. The jaw face.
So as soon as they get down there, luckily they didn't, attack her as soon as she got in the cellar, even though it seemed like they were setting it up that way.
That was just a cheap trick. Everybody was like us, like, bitch, don't go down first. What are you doing?
But as soon as they get down there, Tight Jaw Gretchen tells everyone that they need to get their study materials handy, which turns out to be the weed and moonshine.
It's the weirdest episode of That 70 Shows I've ever seen with the circle.
It was.
Quite literally, like, what? Where is Fez?
Now, did you take any... Like, I don't recall Alicia having done any drugs, but I'm pretty sure, based on her experiences with Nick, that she was kind of adverse to drugs in the first season.
She never took it on screen, but I don't think she was. Remember, she was painted as a very smart girl. She was going to go places.
Right.
But she also had a weird side where she was drawing, like, she's the idiot the tattoo that healed over time within a day.
I just found it really odd. Whatever. If you smoke pot in your spare time, so be it for you. But, I just found it really odd that she would be the first one to take a hit off the bong and knew how to do it. And, I would have been like, no, you smoke it first. And
she didn't really choke.
No.
She didn't really do all that.
A little bit,
but not like, holy shit, what the fuck? She did it comfortably. Also, we also got to remember that it's in her DNA a little bit. Not saying that she...
Right, but knowing that, as being a smart person, knowing that, and that addiction runs in your family...
She's also trying to blend in. So, and she also needs a release, right? She's tightened up. She's like,
I'm not adverse to drug use.
No, I'm just trying to say in the scene in my mind, she needs a release.
Okay, which is fine.
Jake's got a release for her.
Are you going to be the first one to hit the ball?
No, I wouldn't be the first down the fucking tunnel. I wouldn't be doing this. Like, no, you try it first. You sip on the jar first. Fuck off. I will go find something else to do. Yes. I'm going to go back by the horses. You guys are fucking nuts.
Yeah. So anyway, she hits the bong first and says, well, this isn't what I expected. And then we find out who Jeff really is. So Jeff is the caged zombie head that they have in their possession.
Taking a page out of the governor's handbook.
And Alicia just she hasn't seen enough zombies. I don't know. Maybe she hasn't taken that close of a look, but she is just totally mesmerized by this zombie head, and starts giggling uncontrollably off her first bong hit.
I don't know how drugs properly work like that, but again, I just took it as a release. Like, she's so tensed up. Maybe she feels safe down in this fucking bunker of sorts.
Yeah.
So I didn't read much into this either. I think maybe you're getting frustrated because Alicia's your favorite character and we're starting to see weird shenanigans out of her. Again,
I still like her. I like what she says to these people down here too, but
yeah, when she's releasing information over time, yeah. The whole Jeff and this is like the homeschool kids.
But I think it's really, as somebody who works with teenagers all the time too, and I just find it very what's the word that you always use, the trope word or whatever, that these teenagers have to be doing drugs and drinking just because they're teenagers, like they're being little rebellious.
What else are they gonna do is the question. They can't play video games. I'm sure
plenty of other things to be doing.
There's all sorts of boning going on down here.
Well, I would rather see him boning. I don't know.
Oh, they walk into like Caligula down there. Like, hey, Alicia, you go first. You're going to love this.
I don't know.
Jake's down there with the fucking schlong ready to go. I don't know. This is the easy way to go for them, right? It's the easiest way. And I'm glad I didn't see a Bible study. I don't want to see that in my apocalyptic show. Everybody has a right to religion. I'm not knocking it, but I didn't want to see it.
No.
And I'm glad. I mean, in hindsight, I'm pretty surprised. They could have been like
shooting shit, or they could have been doing something besides just let's go down into the cellar. And like, why do they have to go down into a storage cellar? Like, why can't they just do it, in the woods someplace or something?
Who knows how big Broke Jaw is ultimately, though?
Apparently, it's really large because it took them a long time to walk to this storage cellar.
I think what illustrates it for me is that these kids, they're kids and they're making poor choices, but it's giving them a false sense of security. So when they do get around a real walker, they're going to be all dumb about it.
Yeah.
Someone's going to fucking buy it.
Yeah.
I mean, maybe Tight Jaw or something does. You know what I mean? So that's just, again, illustrating, filling in the blanks for us.
Yeah.
She's obviously the rebel of the family. Are we sure that's
Alicia
the daughter?
Or Gretchen?
Gretchen.
Yeah, she introduced herself as Vernon's daughter.
Vernon's daughter?
Yeah, Vernon's daughter.
I was thinking Jeremiah, and I'm like, whoa, no. She's not an Otto. I didn't want to correct you. I was like, wait a minute. But no, Vernon. Yeah, I just accepted this whole circle down there, the whole 70s show down there was as it was.
All right, moving on then. Goes back to the library where Maddie is continuing to watch her tutorial videos, but we see that she has found another version of the survivalist commercial, the unedited clip.
Why would you keep that if you're inviting people to go into the Library of Hope?
Yeah.
So an asshole like Madison finds it. I'm going to use that to my advantage.
That's a good question. So we see a different side of Jeremiah here, not the calm, cool, collected one that we usually see. He is demanding another take of this commercial that they're shooting. He's strong-arming his wife, who wants to be done with it already. You can tell that it is not a happy marriage. He insults Troy as being a sniveling, whining kid, like telling the wife that she needs to pick up her sniveling kid. He also claims that the wife isn't tired, that she's thirsty for another drink, so we realize that she's an alcoholic. And he orders Jake that he needs to tend to his brother. Jake, tend to your brother Troy. So Jeremiah even yells at the cameraman to shut his damn mouth when the cameraman says, like, let the wife go.
Spoiler alert, Jake doesn't grow up any higher, so I think Troy did all the growing, because Troy's real tiny. Do you think that Jeremiah ultimately puts up with Troy's bullshit because he has regret about the wife situation? He didn't do enough to help her. He
I think he explains.
Yeah,
I think he explains that a little bit later on.
Fuck that noise.
He says he's gonna. Oh, they kind of cut that out of the storytelling. He's like, "Do you want to know why I, take it or keep my son around?" And then he's like, "Take a walk with me," and they never really get to the reason why. But he kind of hints at having a purpose, like trying to give his son a purpose and making it a better place. So he's not. He's trying to make it a better place for his family because, like, whatever family structure they had before was not good.
It was a failure.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it. I was just asking, make sure we got it on a record.
Right. So Jeremiah interrupts. He knows that she has seen this video and says that it wasn't his finest moment. Maddie wants to know what happened to the wife. And we find out that that was his second wife and Troy's mother. So Troy and Jake have two different mothers.
We heard that before, though. I forgot where, but we knew Troy and Jake were steps.
Okay.
Yeah. At least
I didn't take detailed notes of the previous one. So.
I understand. I'm just saying it for the listeners. Man, I'm getting... Where's Rooster? Where's
Don't
Rooster?
you miss
are
Rooster?
fired. I'm getting tore up.
You like it.
I do.
Let's just hope your listeners do too. Okay, so we find out that the wife died before the apocalypse, and Maddie admits that her father was an alcoholic too. So again, her manipulative, trying to make a connection there.
That's all it was.
But wasn't Maddie an alcoholic herself? Like, wasn't she chugging liters of vodka in the first season?
No, I don't think so.
I don't know.
There was a scene again.
She was like in a bathroom slamming some vodka at some point.
Yeah, maybe. I just remember her sipping on a glass after they finally got back. Travis finally got back to the house with the family.
Because I think we had that discussion, too, that she must be an addict, too.
Oh, yeah.
And was her husband, Nick's father, an addict?
Remember, because they illustrated it last season where Nick was in rehab somewhere.
Yeah.
And she lied to Nick saying that he just fell asleep at the wheel. But
Right.
we had all assumed that he fucked up. I think she might have said as much at some point that he fucking DUI'd somebody to death. I don't know.
Yeah.
But
I think she was an alcoholic, too.
yeah, I'm sure
Which is probably why she got into counseling and stuff, too.
she's like a manipulative, aggressive alcoholic. Like,
Yeah.
So who knows? We haven't seen it on full effect, though.
So instead of admitting that she was an alcoholic, which I believe that she was, which is what makes her a terrible mother as well, that she says that her father was, and we find out that the drink is what killed Tracy, or Troy's mom. That it got really ugly in the end, and that it was Troy who ended up taking care of her.
Yeah, that's...
And that she hated Troy for taking care of her.
Troy killed her. I'm almost certain. He put a fucking pillow on her face and just sat on it.
And Madison asks where Jeremiah was, and he said that he was too busy selling his survival buckets. And we realized that he, too, was an alcoholic.
I was an alcoholic, yeah. Yeah, I mean, there's nothing much here. This is just filling in between the lines for everybody.
Right.
Again, I think you were right by saying that she's putting in strings into this old guy.
Right.
So it's via the drink.
I love scotch. I love scotch. Scotchy, scotch, scotch.
I've been looking to play that one.
Good. I'm glad. Can't go wrong with Anchorman.
Inkerman.
Also
Also related to Anchorman. That's the Canadian version. Inkermans.
Moving on.
I am. Let's move on.
I will not take the abuse like Rooster does.
Rooster likes it. You will learn to like it.
Them's is fighting words. All right. Then we move on to Strand and Dante, who are just reminiscing about their old business deals and Thomas and the partying. Dante asks, obviously that Thomas didn't make it then. He does question Strand's escape of like how he got the car and this and that. And they toast to being back with like-minded people, but you can clearly see the little eye movement that, he obviously doesn't trust Strand.
And rightfully so. I mean, we kind of knew. I think they might have said it out loud, but Strand did fuck over Thomas at some point. Maybe they never did say it out loud.
They didn't, but yeah, he mentions it later in this show.
Well, this show, yeah, in particular. But again, Strand's skill set is not doing well for him at all.
No.
It helped him out in season 1, obviously, to get out of the prison cell with Nick. But I didn't expect it to go this far, like with Dante hanging him over a fucking bridge. But it kind of like paints Strand in a bad guy. He did love Thomas, but Dante is making the right moves here. I don't know.
You think he is or isn't?
Dante's just feeling him out because he knows Strand is a con artist,
right.
ultimately.
Right. And I think you always have to be on your guard at this point in time.
And again, some guy in fancy clothes, fancy car doesn't mean dick in the apocalypse.
Right. And so, and then we're just too come to the knowledge, I guess, that Dante is just in control of this entire water reservoir.
Probably. I mean, and that, like, even Strand says as much, water is
Right.
currency.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't think we won't be with Dante long, I don't think.
Probably not.
So,
Okay, so then we get back to Bible study, and they are questioning Alicia through zombie Jeff's head. Like, oh, he wants to know, like, where you're from and what's it like. So she, what's it like out there? Because I don't know how long these people have been in this camp, but apparently they were there from the start of it. So she tells him that it's just chaos out there, that it changes you out there. And Alicia decides to ask, who are the Ottos? So she's trying to do the legwork and find out information about them. We find out that Jeff was the first zombie that they encountered in this camp, and Troy took Jeff's body. So they know that he's whatever,
he's playing scientist.
Yeah.
And these are all, we got to remember, these are teenagers. So a single walker is probably fun to them, right?
Yeah.
Especially a head in a goddamn bird cage.
Yeah.
So we always got to remember that noise.
Yeah.
A herd is different. And we go to Carl Grimes all the time, but that kid grew up in the apocalypse, so he's got a different perspective. These are just homeschool. I say homeschool, but basically they've been a sheltered life. This is
Right.
Alexandria people.
Yeah.
Oh my God, especially out in the middle of the desert / mountain range. There's probably not a lot of walkers to deal with.
Right.
Living people are more of a threat out there.
Yeah.
So one walker is probably cool to these idiots.
Yeah, I'm sure.
So I see this. I see it for what it is.
But again, we find out that they're aware that Troy has done something with the body, like whatever, he took the body and left the head. So Gretchen believes that, Troy does what they can't do themselves, that Troy protects them from these zombies. And Alicia says that they can't depend on others, that they need to handle their own shit. And they asked her what she needs to do out there or what she's done out there, and she admits that she has killed a man. They want to know how it felt to kill somebody. And this is the second reference that we hear in this show that killing is easy. It was easy to kill a human.
It might be in this world. I mean, either you do or you don't. Like, what was it? I swear to God, I keep getting Governor's reference, not just because of the single head in the cage or the aquarium like we saw years ago, but eventually Governor says you kill or you die, and you kill anyway, or whatever, how he says it. Killing somebody in this apocalyptic world, a living person, it's probably got to be easy. If this shit ever did happen, you're going to have to face that at some point.
Yeah.
So, I mean, it's back to Walking Dead conversations. I think a lot of people are getting tired of it. I mean, there's no other thing to talk about, I guess. So, This stuff down here in the circle is just mind-numbing to me.
Right.
Stuff we've talked about before on these shows, so...
Do you think that Alicia should be so casual about it? I mean, like, I know it would probably be easier the more killing that you do, but I would think initially the first person that you kill would be difficult. Or that you would be scarred by it in some way, shape, or form.
She is, though, right? She's showing apprehension about it when Nick was, like, consoling her last episode. It's all coming. Now she has time to, like, rest and learn about herself now.
Yeah.
It's all coming to a head. But I took it as, like, these little dipshits down here in the circle are seeing her as, like, a cool person.
Yeah, for sure.
And she's struggling, but these idiots are, oh, she's so cool. She's a badass.
Right.
But she's struggling.
Yeah.
And she's whatever, pick whatever character you have in The Walking Dead. It's the same internal struggle.
But I'm sure she struggled even before with her family life and...
Well, killing someone, she never killed anybody in the regular world.
No, but as far as like relating to others, if you're talking about her struggling while she's hanging out with these other teenagers, you never really seen her with anyone else but her boyfriend.
I just don't. I have nothing to say honestly about it.
Okay.
I mean, what was the question?
I just said, I don't even remember what the question was. Something about wouldn't you like the first person that you kill would be a little bit of a struggle.
I guess that all depends upon the person.
Like she
right?
said it was easy. But, I don't, like if I went to kill someone, I don't think that it would be easy for me to kill.
But are you killing somebody in the real world or the apocalyptic world? And are you struggling in the apocalyptic world where you have to either kill somebody or die yourself? I think
what was her situation? I can't even remember when she killed someone.
I was trying to think about that.
Was she being attacked?
No, remember up in the hotel upper level room?
Yeah.
Someone was Strand or Travis was getting kicked out or something like that. And the doctor dude, she stabbed right in the chest because something was happening up there, and she was basically the linchpin that set everything off.
So it's not, I don't know, but she wasn't really protecting herself.
She was. In her mind, you got to put yourself in the apocalyptic setting. They've been struggling. They've been like fending for themselves. If you go out and kill somebody now at 7-Eleven, yeah, you're probably going to have some apprehension out of nowhere. These people have to fight for every inch they get. So, again, you got to, I would have not a problem with it if I was her.
Okay.
So that's just me. It's subjective, right? There's going to be some asshole in this show. Nick is probably going to be the one that has a problem with it.
Yeah.
And it's going to probably get him killed or get Luciana killed. Or, God forbid, Madison killed because he's hesitant.
Right.
Or at least she's going to save him. I already see this shit happening.
Yeah.
It's kind of bad that I see it, but I don't know. I have no problem. I'll fucking end your life if you're in my way. Think about this. If you have a home intruder and it's either you or them, you goddamn well that motherfucker's falling.
Right.
It's you or them.
Right.
So.
But I wouldn't say that it's easy to do it. I mean, I could do it. I'm just saying
you have no time to think about it. You have no time to think about it. It's half a second or less. So.
All right. But again, it was the second reference to killing being easy. So I don't know, but
maybe
that's all
she's
about.
A killer. Maybe she likes it. Maybe that's what we need in this show.
Maybe.
We thought we were getting Travis, but Travis bit it. So
that's why I like her. She's my favorite character.
Yeah, she's one of the better ones.
I have high hopes for her. Okay, moving on. Back to the reservoir. We see that Dante is about to throw some cartel member off the side of the reservoir. He makes some comment that this cartel member is somebody who took from others, and in his world now there's no room for these people who take from others.
Yeah, this is fine. It's just territorial at this point.
Yeah.
The only thing I took from this fucking scene was the dude fell like 100,000 feet in the air and still lived at the bottom until he got 8. Yes. How the fuck does this happen?
Was that a nice, as you and Rooster call it, set piece for you guys?
It was, but it was asinine. This show loves doing this bullshit where they drop walkers or live people at this now from great distances and they live at the bottom. Imagine what your internal organs would do at that rate of speed, hitting 1,000 to 0 all of a sudden. That dude would have been dead on the impact. But I digress. It's just fucking dumb. That's what I took from it. And I know we already seen the previews. We knew Strand was going to get dipped over the side.
Yeah.
So it wasn't really a surprise to me here.
Okay. So, yep, that's exactly what happens. Strand's grabbed next. He believes that Victor wants to take from him, too, and he denies it.
Which he might be right. Strand might not. Strand just wanted a place to stop for a moment.
Right.
But this guy's, again, territorial. He's a cartel dude. He's, hey, water's mine. And like, dude, I don't want your water. Like he says, I just want a meal and
shelter,
and
maybe
that's
a cocktail.
And again, it does.
Right.
His wheelhouse is not helping him. He's going to have to adapt. I think if anybody needs to adapt on this show right now, it's literally Strand. And maybe that's why we get Daniel later to help him along. Because your little Rolex lifestyle is not helping you.
Right. So Strand tries to save himself from this by claiming that Dante needs him for protection, that he shouldn't be sitting so close to this reservoir. He's inviting an attack, and that Strand would be there to set up transport and protection and whatnot. But Dante doesn't think that he can trust a thief. We find out that Strand did not steal from Dante, but he did steal from Thomas. And Dante questions whether or not Thomas died, believing that Strand loved him. And Strand confesses that he did love Thomas.
Right. And like if this was an HBO show, Strand would have been dog food at that point.
Yeah.
Yeah. But I wasn't concerned for Strand's life. I like what Dante says. Like, he has Strand speaking, and all of a sudden Dante's like, "You'll say anything." Just
Right.
like he says it, like,
Yeah. He says that Strand exploits everything that he touches.
yeah, and it's probably true. And again, it's pre-apocalypse that's no longer working here.
Right.
Who knows? It might work a little bit here and there,
But
but
he doesn't kill Strand.
right.
He wants to teach Strand a lesson somehow by telling Strand that he's going to work it off and make him feel powerless.
Nothing there.
Nothing there.
Nothing there for
I
me.
agree. So to try to finish this up a little bit more quickly, it goes back and forth between this boar hunt. I'll just call it the boar hunt, but it's a back and forth between...
Well, the getting invited to the boar hunt, I don't know. Troy already lied to his father, or not father, but his
Jake.
brother, Jake, and then Nick gets in. This is where I think Nick is being calculatable. I think that's the word.
Well, I mean, he
Calculable.
offered him a gun.
Yeah, and then we said it out loud, like, dude, see if that fucker's loaded.
Right.
But yeah, it was kind of weird. I guess we just have to swallow it as it is.
Right.
So yeah, this boar hunt was weird.
So, I mean, I think Nick just believes that killing Troy is the answer to all the problems, and maybe they would be able to stay there if Troy wasn't there.
And eventually they get into well, there was like some weird noises when they were finally on this hunt.
First of all, they're just terrible hunters. I'm sure the Rooster would have a lot to say about this.
Yeah, just all walking
but
in
since
one
I
big-
am not a skilled hunter, but they were, yes, all walking together.
With flashlights
I mean, they
and
had
everything
the
else.
dogs, but yes, flashlights all over the place.
Yeah, it was a strange situation. But these scenes were interchanged with a bunch
Right.
of other scenes. So yeah,
Yeah.
I wonder if we should take one whole scene, go to another scene, or I don't know, however you want to do it.
Okay, well, I can do it for you. I mean, there wasn't that much to the boar hunt. It was just the fact that if you want to start with the boar hunt, okay, so Troy pulls up, offers Nick to join him. I don't know what the whole old people had to do with the scene, unless that was just trying to bring you back to, that this is a normal, everyday kind of life. Because that old guy we saw a close-up of him during the group meeting at the beginning, too.
I don't know. Maybe you're right. I just took it as Nick looking at it like what could have been, what he wants for the future. With in his mind, Luciana. Who knows what? I mean, it's just who knows? Like hope for the future. What could have been?
Right.
All that shit. That's
Yeah.
all that was there for.
Okay, well then Troy pulls up and offers him a gun to go boar hunting. Nick says he's not a hunter, but as soon as he sees the gun, he's all about it. Like, oh, all right. I'm assuming he thinks this could be his chance to get Troy. There wasn't much to that. Again, so Nick is then hiding in the bushes, if you want me to stick with the boar hunt.
Yeah, stick with the boar hunt.
Nick is just hiding in the bushes, just waiting to attack Troy. So when Troy approaches, he jumps out. They tussle a little bit. And Troy, I don't know. I think he's fine with dying. He's like, yes, like go ahead, kill me, but then time me and see how long it's going to take me to turn. Like, because I think Nick says, I wonder how long it's going to take you to turn.
Right.
He's got it down. Like, it'll take me 87 minutes according to my body mass and
Yeah.
blah, blah, blah. So, and then he hands Nick his journal, like, here, do it. Time me, make sure my calculations were correct, and almost to prove that his scientific experiments do have a point.
Yeah, this isn't Troy calculating Nick, right? This is
I don't
Troy
think-
just really wanting to die, or
Or he's
sacrificing.
ready to.
Because he said at some point that someone like Newton or something poked
Yes.
himself in the eye or something like that.
Yeah.
He says it there.
Yeah.
I just didn't think this is Nick manipulating him, but Troy is literally. This is proof that Troy's just completely unhinged, right?
Yeah.
At this point, this is Nick trying to get a buddy for fake time. Just a weird.
Yeah.
Eventually they tussle and have fun. Like Nick grabs the book and starts throwing it,
Right.
making funny sounds.
Yeah.
And
So yeah, he was laughing because he was tearing up his notebook.
I didn't know what
he's
that
been-
was the first watch.
Right.
I'm like, what the fuck was that?
Yeah. But yeah, he was tearing up his little scientific notebook with all of his notes on his studies.
Yeah, that's the only way my mind can rest, that Nick is doing this on purpose. There's no fucking way Nick needs a friend.
No.
This is all dumb. And I don't know if Madison tells him to do this or if it's all Nick
No,
on his
I
own.
think it's all Nick on his own. And again, whatever. I don't know. I mean, think about how crazy and silly he was at the beginning even with his drug use or non-drug use, he always did some weird, quirky things.
I just don't want it to be natural. I just don't want.
I don't
Nick
think
to be,
it would be.
I don't want it.
I don't think
can't have
Nick
it.
wants to be his friend, but Troy, again, because Troy doesn't have a lot of friends or social situations, when he sees that Nick is a little skewed himself, then Troy kind of recognizes a little bit of him in Nick. So he's like, oh, all right, you and I can be friends because we have something.
Yeah, and then just, I think it's going to prove worse for Nick eventually because Troy's going to come to him with all these weird harebrained ideas and suggestions, and Nick's be like, fuck off. He's got to go along with it until it runs out.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's weird. That's the only way I can rest with that. If it's true, then that's going to suck.
I don't think there's ever any way they're going to be friends.
Yeah.
All right, so that was the end of the boar hunt, and then in between the little flash and, change of scenes, we have Maddie and Jeremiah talking, kind of bonding over parenting, I guess. They discuss a little bit about the boar hunt and the fact that Alicia's at Bible study. Jeremiah makes some comment about them, maybe they're finding their place, and Maddie comments that they never had a place.
Yeah, and she's talking about her past. With,
Yes.
trying to raise these kids.
Yes.
Alicia seemed the most stable, but who knows? Maybe Alicia has some shit, but
Well,
I don't know.
sure.
There's a lot of cogwheels
If both
moving.
of her parents were alcoholics of sorts and Nick's running around being the drug addict, then, obviously she was the one that had to be responsible and keep the household.
Nick running around being a drug addict, not listening to her, is, in Madison's mind, failing, right? She's failing as a mother.
Yeah.
Even though it potentially just wasn't her fault at the time. Who knows? But I'm saying, in her mind now, I can get Nick the right world to live in and fix it.
Yeah,
and blah, blah,
I'm
blah.
sure she wants the same thing, just like Jeremiah. Yeah, they're trying to create...
It's the same argument, both different sides.
Yeah.
Yeah. I get it. I gotcha.
So anyway, she admits that Nick was a drug addict, or is a drug addict. They do their little reflection on parenting, and when Jeremiah, like I said before, he says something about oh, you want to know why I cater to my son like I do, but we never find out why. He just takes her to this storage thing, and says that the apocalypse is an opportunity to build something better than before, to give family members a purpose.
I like to tell myself that he has this storage, basically another big bunker with all the supplies. He just couldn't sell anything.
Yeah.
That's the way my mind worked. This guy was a fraud, but now it's working out for him.
Yeah.
With all these buckets and all these supplies. That's maybe it's wishful thinking, but that's the way
I'm sure that's probably the case.
No one bought my fucking tapes.
Yeah,
no
he
one
was
bought my buckets.
He was a failure in the first life.
So this is a chance to redeem himself
Yeah.
and fix his boys or whatever.
Right.
Blah blah blah.
And so he questions whether or not Maddie is up for building something better, and she absolutely agrees.
Oh yeah, her plans, her wheels and cards are all coming into play now,
Yes.
and everything's falling into place for the chick.
Mm-hmm.
Yep.
All right. Finishing up here, just a little bit more. There's a quick little hospital scene between Maddie and Lucy where Lucy thanks Madison for letting her stay here to heal, taking the time to stay there to heal. But, we gotta move on.
And she touches her, trying to establish connection.
Yes.
That's all that was.
Yes. And
That's I forgot the terminology for it, but when someone... There's a psychology
Yes.
behind it, right? You touch someone, you're developing something
yeah.
or whatever.
Yeah, a connection there, yeah. Showing the empathy.
Yeah.
So she offers condolences on Travis and that, Travis was such a good guy. He saved my life. And Maddie agrees that he was a better man than she is because she has no intention of leaving, that they're basically staying here.
And Travis was basically her anchor ultimately, right? What kept her grounded, what kept her in check in a way, because she was trying to strive to be a better person for Travis maybe.
Yeah.
But now that Travis is gone, it can unleash Madison.
Yeah.
So I just put that together in my head just now.
Excellent.
I'm so smart.
Analytical thinking you are.
Thank you.
You are.
A+.
So I think Lucy's probably a little disappointed that Madison isn't on her side there.
Oh, yeah. This is going to be the Nick.
Yeah, fighting over Nick.
Yeah,
Yes.
no one cares.
Right. Shoot back to Bible study. It's over finally, and they're walking back. Of course, they run back into Jake. It seems to be the early dawn morning.
Yeah, they were fucking down there forever. And Jake knows what's going on, right?
Exactly, yes. Because he says, Yeah, turning water into wine.
So they're okay with some shenanigans going on. Maybe not to the full effect of drug use.
Yeah, maybe they don't know that they have the zombie head down there.
Yeah, I think, because Jake's too clean cut for this.
Yeah.
So, yeah, it was interesting.
But,
him being up that early made me think he was on that boar hunt. You know what I mean? I don't know.
I don't know. People don't sleep all day like we do. They get up early and start their duties.
I'm not a hero.
You're my hero.
Okay.
But yes, Alicia says, praise Jesus. And we again see her looking back at Jake, so we know there's that little...
Will they make a connection physically? Who knows? That's the gamble.
How old do you think Jake is?
Well, they did say Troy's 31 at some point. Like, it's that old. Like, someone did the math. I could be wrong, but they say Troy's 31, so Jake might be a little... I don't know. I could be wrong. But some reason 31 stuck in my head for Troy.
All right.
I could be wrong. We'll have to look back into that later.
It's a little old, yeah. Yeah, a little old.
But it's the apocalypse. Everybody can do whatever they want.
I guess.
You got dipshits now that are 80-something years old, and they're marrying 20-year-old women, so whatever. It's not even the apocalypse.
To finish the show, then we see the lunch line again. There's a little whispering between Jake and his dad. We hear Mr. Otto say they need another group to go out to check out this whole helicopter situation and what happened to the original people they sent out. So Maddie volunteers to go on this mission, which once again is going to be led by Troy to find out what happened to investigate the helicopter crash. And then we see her manipulative tactics where she walks right past her children eating lunch and sits with Troy, puts a little napkin on Troy's lap. He says, hey, your kids are over there. And she's like, oh, I know.
Yeah, this is just a manipulative play, right? This is just a power play.
Right.
But he looked down at it like maybe he's on to her finally. I don't know.
I think he is on to her.
And they're just playing each other's game until one of them slips or...
Exactly. Again, and if he is into this whole scientific thinking or whatever, then I'm sure he went to all kinds of therapists and growing up. I'm sure he's playing her just like she's playing him.
Troy's annoying to me, but he's also, I guess, kind of smart too in his own weird way. But she also wants to go to see if she can get with these people that shot the airplane or the helicopter.
Yeah, because she wants to see
the asshole.
Yeah, I forgot
that did
when
it.
she said that.
She said that to Jake during VHS time or VHS one. Yeah, I forgot about that until now. So she definitely wants some payback. But what is she gonna do on this trip? Nothing. But she just wants to be close to Troy.
Yeah.
Keep tabs on his ass. Because now potentially she's got her hooks into Jeremiah.
Right.
She has to worry about Jake. So it's Troy now. Who knows? This is a tricky bitch.
She is. And our final scene is seeing Strand in a little jail. And we have the return of everybody's favorite character, Papi Chulo.
Papi Chulo. Yeah, I forgot that we called him that. It was almost kind of weird.
How could you forget?
I don't know. We call him Papi Chulo for our new listeners.
I didn't know who you were talking about when you mentioned Daniel.
Fuck, who's this guy? I'm hoping he's here. We don't think he's a fucking a mind figment of Strand's imagination.
I hope not.
That would be fucking stupid.
It would be. It would be like a whole Lori.
No, we don't need it.
Incident.
It's literally season 3 all over again. If it literally is season 3 now that I'm thinking about it. I'm hoping he's here, but. Stranded.
Okay, I can't even remember how he died. Did he supposed to die in the fire?
Remember, he started the fire because the Mexican family,
they were all
Thomases were all locked down there. He started it. Madison got no. Madison started that fire, right? Ultimately, because she left that.
Yeah,
I can't remember who fucking started that because she did lock the door on that old Mexican woman.
Yeah.
Who started the fire? It might have been him because he saw his wife.
Oh, well, he was having visions of his wife.
He was having visions of his wife, and so we assumed that he just went up in the blaze, which we all... If you don't die on screen, then it's chances are. Keeps the door open for Travis. He landed in a tree somewhere. I just want Daniel to be back, because I think the Daniel and Strand Roadshow whatever they're going to call it, the carnival set. I mean, it's got to be fucking fun.
I mean, I guess I was going to say, well, how would he have wound up with Dante? But I guess if the or whatever hacienda went up in smoke, perhaps if Dante was in business with Thomas, then maybe Dante's crew would have been there to help rescue him. They came back
they saw the blaze and from a distance, or they came back for business. They're like, holy fuck. But then again, Daniel is a smooth talker. Yeah. He's very adaptive. He's had a troubled past, so I can see him being there. But I think they said next episode we're going to get filled in the blanks with Daniel potentially. But I'm happy for it.
Yep. So he gave Strand some water. Strand guzzles it all down, and he says, I knew you would drink all the water, and I told you that I would be your guardian angel.
Oh, man, that type of speak is just like, God, he better not be in the imagination. Maybe that's how we get Daniel from here on out, is just imagination.
But why, of all people, I mean, like, it's not like him and Strand were that close.
It's just it's a casting move, that's all. That's all. You got to think of it as, a lot of people just don't, especially on The Walking Dead, AMC the story doesn't come first. It's the actors, it's this, they don't kill people off on The Walking Dead that should have been killed off a long time ago. Those type of things. They don't flesh out the story. It's like it's all about the contracts and the people and whatever. Like, for instance, Daryl. Daryl should have been dead 1,000 times before.
Shut your mouth.
But he's going to stick around for God knows how long because it's not serving the story.
Yeah.
Daniel being here is a stunt.
Well, that's the only way really though that would draw them all back together again, because clearly Daniel would want to find Ophelia, find his daughter. And
I was right? Ophelia last season was discovered by Jeremiah Otto, right?
Yes, you were.
Because you're the one that pointed it out initially. That's Sons of Anarchy guy. And I'm like, what? Yes. And then I saw it again, obviously, for the podcast. And you're right. So somehow Ophelia's got to fucking be out there. This is 3 episodes now without her.
Okay. But she is Hispanic.
Right.
So if there is any kind of racism going on in that camp of excluding Mexicans, as we were led to believe, why would Jeremiah have let her into the camp or saved her?
Maybe we find out later that fucking Troy offed her, and we'll only see it in the flashback at the compound, or the initial compound at the border. Yeah. That would suck. But as long as I get Daniel back.
I think she's still alive. I want to say that we've seen her in a preview, unless that was Lucy.
Lucy was the preview stuff, because I think they're trying to be secretive about Ophelia. Because maybe at the time Ophelia brings up Daniel's memory, so they're trying to keep Daniel the surprise at the end of this episode. So don't put Ophelia in any of these previews. So yeah, that's it. You still at a D+, or what are you at?
And scene.
I mean, don't feel like you have to read it, but
I mean, I don't know. I enjoyed learning more. I hate when we don't get the background information, so I enjoyed learning the background information on these people, but it wasn't any great storytelling.
Well, I thank you for stepping in this week.
I thank you for having me.
You're always welcomed up here in the studio.
Really? I can be naked with both of you?
It's not the first time.
Ooh.
So, next week's title is 100. I hope that's not some sort of weird slang, clever, like stay at 100, whatever they say these days, these kids.
I'm 100%.
Yeah. I didn't say at the top of the episode, TEOTWAWKI, you want to guess how many viewers were here this week?
Since I'm an avid listener, and the counts were, I knew you were going to ask me this, so I was prepared. I'm going to say that it's probably less than 2 million.
Nope. Less than last week for sure. You ready for it? 2.5.
Wow.
So it's going down again.
Okay.
Now, this is the course, according to Wikipedia. I saw that the lady that plays Madison was like, thanks for the 4.5 million people that have viewed it. This is the initial, I think, viewing numbers, so I should say that outright. Wikipedia is claiming, which they get from other sources, is 2.5 million. So it is dropping, and that's not a good drop.
No.
It's the lowest so far ever. They need to turn it around, again, they got rid of their showrunner, so something, again, my fun part is watching how bad the season unfolds. But it's 2.5, I should say, so the listeners who stuck around this long. know that about this episode. TEOTWAWKI.
Why wouldn't your listeners have stuck around this long?
I'm just saying.
What are you trying to say?
They might not like a female voice. They're very sexist. I don't know. I kid.
Well,
folks.
to do the job that Rooster needs to do, if they have any complaints about my commentary, they can feel free to leave a message at your voicemail.
What's that number, by the way?
708-584-0552.
That sounds sexy. Say it one more time.
708-584-0552.
Excellent. Leave those voicemails. No one has done it. People are chicken shit. Unless Rooster's literally not checking them, I would be sucked. But I get notifications too. Speaking of which, if you want to help out the show, there's 3 good ways of doing so. Oh, first up is iTunes reviews. If you're whatever you get your podcast source, leave us a review there. Give us 5 stars if we think are that great. Give my beautiful wife Moby Doo a 5-star review up on iTunes. It helps us climb out of the ratings. Solid download numbers, but we're sitting stagnant in the iTunes rating because we're not getting any new reviews. So if you do anything, do that. Another way you can do that is head over to loosewirenetwork.com and hit the Amazon button. If you're shopping on Amazon, you're not getting charged any extra. You're just sending a few pennies of Amazon's profits our direction. So that's a monetary type benefit. So if you're shopping on Amazon anyway, loosewirenetwork.com, hit the Amazon button and help us out over there. And last but certainly not least is our friends over at tvtime.com with millions and millions of subscribers on their actual app that you can get from their actual tvtime.com site, Android and iOS supported. You can gather with folks of your same that watch the same television shows you do, talk with them on their boards, create gifts, create all sorts of fun going on over there. You also get notifications on your phone that if you're out and about and you forget that your show is coming on, you'll get notified if you got your notifications turned on. So give our friends over at tvtime.com a visit and download their app. It's quite interesting, very informative. They've been really good to us. I think that's it.
Well, I enjoyed being here. I was super nervous, but I think
it's pretty easy, right?
It is pretty easy.
It's fun as fuck.
No wonder you guys always get lost up here for so many hours.
You are one of the longest episodes we've done.
Really?
Yeah.
That's because I'm a teacher and I talk a lot. I'm really sorry if I bored you guys.
I wish you had like a Twitter handle, but you don't. You don't believe in that weird stuff. But we would like. Let us know. Did you like or did you hate?
Do you like our relationship? How did my husband and I do bantering back and forth?
Was she a good step in for Rooster's?
I feel like Rooster always just agrees with you and laughs at you, and I did not laugh at half the crap that you said.
And you tried to educate us.
I did.
As we're here, so we're all a little bit smarter for it.
I'm not here. I'm trying to bring you back to reality. I'm not here to boost your ego all the time.
Here, see, this is my life, folks. This is it. So again, we appreciate your listenership, and next week we'll be back at the same time with episode number 4 for the season, titled 100. So you stay at 100.
If you want me to stick around, I'll be glad to chime in with the Rooster. I know the ladies need the Rooster.
I think it's positive that we got a female perspective. We don't get it often. We did it about a year and a half ago with the ladies.
I don't like females very much. I'm more, I'm more one of the ladies that likes to hang with the guys.
So it's true. With all that being said, thank you.
You are welcome. Thank you for having me.
See you guys next week. And again, you know what?
What?
So much messiness going on right now. We don't get any feedback, so there's no news emails.
Come on, guys. I'm the only one on summer vacation, right?
criticallydeadcast@gmail.com is where you can find us with the email. Send in those emails. Talk about this whacked out show with us. Facebook.com/LooseWireStudio and at critically_dead is the Twitter. And there's other ways of getting a hold of us via SoundCloud, Stitcher, and all those other wacky doohickeys of a social media. Go to loosewirenetwork.com to find those links as well. That's it. That's it.
All right.
We'll see you guys next week.
You ready to hit the button?
We're ready to hit the button.
Adios, muchachos.
We love you guys. Thanks for stopping in with us.
Bye, have a great time.